what if your efficiency improvement initiatives were actually damaging the profitability and handicapping the growth of your organization? Well, that is the claim of today's guest, Justin Roff-Marsh, who argues that managers should be optimizing their departments for speed rather than efficiency or cost. Justin's new book, An Ode to Speed, explains how to install a speed-based framework for all management decisions and how to ensure that departments are synchronized to maximize profitability without cost escalation. All right, Justin, always great to have you. I would love to start by talking about the message of An Ode to Speed. In the book, you paint cost and speed as alternative focuses for decision-making. Why these two, and what is the connection between these two?
Well, so there's a difference between making management decisions in a very small business, say a restaurant, and a larger one, say an industrial organization. In both cases, the overarching goal is the generation of profit. But in the case of the small business, the relationship between your day-to-day decisions and profitability is pretty obvious. You can have good intuition for that. But in a larger, more complex business, decisions have second and third order consequences. If you're operating in one corner of the business, the causal connection between your local decisions and global profitability isn't so obvious. So you need to optimize for something. Most managers optimize for cost or efficiency, which in most cases is functionally the same thing. But the problem with this is if you have managers maximizing efficiencies throughout the organization, you end up sub-optimizing the organization as a whole. My favorite example of sub-optimization comes from Formula One. Imagine you hired a couple of MBAs to improve the profitability of a Formula One team. It's easy to imagine their astonishment when they discover that the pit crew consists of 22 people who attend to as few as 4 stops a race, with each pit stop taking about 2 seconds. There's a ton of opportunity for efficiency improvement there. If you reduce the team to, say, 5 people, you could reduce the cost and the remaining crew would be consistently busy. But you'd never win any races. Now, this example appears idiotic. Even MBAs wouldn't make that mistake. But this is exactly how decisions are made in a normal industrial environment. The alternative optimization parameter is speed.
So what does it actually mean to optimize for speed?
So functionally, optimizing for speed's the opposite of optimizing for cost or efficiency. If you're optimizing for efficiency, the idea is to have as small a team as possible and ensure everyone's consistently busy. If you're optimizing for speed, it means emulating the pit crew. You have as large a team as is necessary to provide whatever lead times are required by the rest of the organization or by customers, and then you have your operators stand idle until a task appears, and then sprint to complete it, and then stand idle again. The reality is you can adopt pit crew behavior in any environment if you design the environment to accommodate it. If you think about Henry Ford's assembly line, it forced pit crew behavior. I would say there's a big thing you need to stop doing and 2 things you need to start doing to make the transition. You need to stop believing that if people or machines are busy, that value is being generated. That's simply not the case. Busy work clogs up your organization with work in progress, which reduces profitability. You need to learn to appreciate that if people and machines are idle, then they're available. And availability is a prerequisite for speed. You also need to packetize work so it's easy to measure and visualize units of value generation. You don't want anyone working on amorphous assignments that defy measurement.
You present cost as evil and speed as good. Are there downsides to optimizing for speed?
Well, the dose is the poison, right? If a manager was maniacal about speed, I guess it could result in cost inflation. But this would tend to be self-correcting in most organizations. If you keep adding people to a team, for example, you hit diminishing returns. The reason Formula One teams have 22 pit crew members is probably because 30 wouldn't get the job done any faster. So here's the thing. In most organizations, there are 2 competing views of profit. For administrators, profit is arithmetic. Revenue minus cost works if you're analyzing the past. But for operators, profit is calculus. When you're making forward-looking decisions, profit is speed. It's the difference between the rate at which the organization generates contribution margin and the rate at which it accrues operating expenses. For whatever reason, we've adopted the administrator's math for making forward-looking decisions. Bad math leads to bad decisions. Good math doesn't make bad decisions impossible, but it makes them much less likely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, well, that's all the time that we have for today, unfortunately, but I do appreciate you talking with us today, Justin Roff-Marsh from Ballistix, always in education. So thank you for being here. We appreciate your time. And for our audience that would like to know more about this concept, you have a book. Where can they find it?
It's here. It's called An Ode to Speed. It's a mini book. You can buy it on Amazon for just $5.99.
All right. Sounds well worth it. All right. Thank you, Justin. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.